Wednesday, way back Wednesday today. We're going way back to about 91 years ago when a very special man in Ellijay was born, Mr. Vic Davis. He celebrated his 91st birthday March the 12th. Now think about that, y'all. The setting behind me was where the Davis brothers produced their show here at ETC for many years. And now it is time for us to think about those that are gone but never forgotten. There's so many people that have walked through these halls, done music here, shared memories with y'all. So many people are gone but never forgotten. And I keep telling y'all, pay attention to me. Sometimes people don't pay attention to me, but you should. Because if you get your camera out, just this little simple thing on your phone, you will have amazing, amazing memories. This thing records your voice, it records what you do, and when somebody you love is gone, this is going to be a joy to you. Today we have downloaded a whole bunch of joy for y'all, and it actually came off one of my iPads, and I got to looking at it and thinking about it, and I thought, oh my gosh, if I lost this, if something happened, whatever. No, it's actually in the cloud, but I'm not smart enough to go to the cloud and say, knock, 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 cloud, can you give me my stuff back? So if you have stuff like this, maybe you should back it up on a flash drive and put it in a safe deposit box, because one day those people you love, those people you admire, those people you learn from, every time I look at this cookbook, I think about all the ladies who taught me to cook, taught me to become a better cook. I still can't make biscuits as good as some of my bestest friends, and I try and I try. I make good biscuits. They're good, but they're not great. Well, maybe they're great. I don't know. They're pretty good. But there are some women who make biscuits better than me, and I was looking at the photos today. I was thinking about Marcel Ledbetter. I was thinking about Von Seal. Oh my gosh, Von Seal made the best turkey and dressing you ever put in your mouth. I make good dressing. I do a good job of Thanksgiving, but mine does not hold a candle to her. So today we're going to share lots of photos, lots of memories, and then we're going to honor a very special man. We hope to have him with us maybe next week. Mr. Vic Davis is 91 years old. He's still going strong. He has had a couple of setbacks with health, and he was in the nursing center for a little while, but he's back home. And we know that those fellows that were the pillar of the community need to be honored. And we need to say, hey, remember this gentleman? Go by and check on him. Go by and see him. Send him a card. Maybe just a howdy. Pick up the phone and call him. I can tell you, there are a whole lot of the folks in the pictures you're going to see today that are gone, and we cannot forget them. When I think about Mary and Grady as they sat over here and we interviewed them and we talked about how did they meet, how did they, you know, become the happiest. I think they were married 60 years. It's crazy. It's crazy how these simple things happen. And I can remember Grady saying that she walked down the steps at the store that he was in, and he looked up and said, wow, who is that girl? So, you know, many lifelong amazing relationships started with just a glimpse, just a glare, just a, hey, who are you? And that's so cool. And the same thing was possible with, it's so crazy because the Blackstones were married for over 60 years and they had known each other, I believe he said 2 weeks when they got married, 2 weeks, but they were married forever. Sadly, she developed dementia and then he did too. And when you see the pictures that we're going to share today, there's so many people who were healthy, happy, and then all of a sudden that stuff hits. And when it hits, there's nothing we can do about it. And I hope that with the new health administration that we have, that they will start finding a way to stop that dementia. It is so hard. It is so, when you see somebody leave before they're gone, if you get my drift, they don't know who you are. They don't remember who they are. So we're going to share some photos with you. And this is, you know, when we look at this, who's that young man there? Do y'all recognize that young man? Well, you know, several of his band members left here way too early, in their 40s. And he talks about them a lot, and he says, you know, these are the guys that helped me be me. And everybody that Dwight's ever been around, he says, you know, I learned from this one, I learned from that one taught me a lesson. I really learned a lesson from that one. There's so many people in our lives that we have to look back and say, hey man, thank you. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for holding me up. And there's the most precious lady in the world who made the best chocolate cake you ever put in your mouth, Sweet Loretta Brackett. And right after her husband passed away, she developed dementia, and it was so hard and it was so fast. And it's one of those things, you know, that's my place of peace. That's over at Lake Weiss. We had a place over there for 17 years. You talk about some happy memories, some happy moments. Today, this weekend, this afternoon, every moment you have, create those special memories, because you don't know when that person's going to be gone. Now that precious lady left a whole lot of memories. Miss Zona Lee Farmer Brackett Haynes left a lot of happy memories. And when we think about how many children, how many grandchildren, how many people are still part of the community, that part of her family. And she will always be remembered, and her daddy will always be honored, because she made a deal with the city to get the park named after him, because she sold them a great deal in the property. And there is Mr. Eddie Brackett on the end. He was the first, you know, I think the hardest, because he tried so hard to live. His heart played out, and he tried so hard to stay. He loved his family. He didn't want to leave. And to honor him, we are coming up on Father's Day. We are coming up on the days that you remember those that are lost and gone. And he was one special gentleman. And he was the one that fought to live, and his heart just played out. So, and that is the day that I met this crazy man that you're going to get to see a lot of today. And then you're going to get to see him in person very soon, because he's bringing the Claytons to be with us, and he's bringing Vic Davis. So we're going to have him back on shortly. But that car is probably going to be retired, because it's been replaced by a black hot machine. There is Sweet Loretta Lynn's daughter, Betty Sue. Not long after we did this interview, she went to be with Jesus. It's crazy. She was not very old. She died before her mom died. And we don't know. If you have an opportunity today to sit down with somebody with your phone, record them, talk to them, get recipes, gather memories, get them to tell you the things of the past that nobody else in the family could tell you. That's so important. And there, two dear friends. I'm Doreen Lee, and you know who Jen Berger is. And it's so crazy, because that's like it was yesterday. That was at Bent Tree many years ago, like 15 years ago. But it's like it was yesterday. We had such a good time. Flew Doreen in from Miami. She came up and she helped, and we cooked and we talked and we laughed. She was such a joy, and she was such a hard fighter. She fought cancer twice. And then Jen, it was so sad, because she fought. They both fought to beat cancer, and cancer gave them a reward, I guess. They got to be with Jesus. So, but it's one of those things, how I would love to have a conversation with Doreen. Now, the other day we showed you the 1835 farmhouse that was remodeled, and I doubled the size of it. But we missed some shots, and I wanted to show you, if you're decorating a home now and you're redoing an old farmhouse, do like I did. It won't pass code, but I put the stained glass in after it was checked by the state. It had a regular window in it, and we mounted that window over the other glass. So I got to use the antique glass, because it's not safety proof. You can't get it approved, but if I mixed it with the glass, we made it work. My precious daughter, how she loved parades. Oh my gosh, she loved parades. She loved being out with y'all. She loved hugging you. She loved seeing you walk in the florist, and so many of y'all were there for me at the funeral home. And I will never forget your faces. I will never forget looking up and seeing people who came from so far away, and just to honor her. And yeah, she deserved to be honored. She worked hard, she loved people, and she was always there. And there, here we go with dementia again. It's so funny. This was a 4th of July about 8 years ago, and dementia had started working on his mind, and then it just kept on and on and on. And it's one of those things. Maybe in our lifetime we will see dementia cured. I don't know what it'll take, and I'm sure that what we eat and what we ingest in our body probably has a lot to do with what's happening, because we've done some stupid stuff in the past. We drink all this plastic stuff in the plastic bottles that's worrying me to death. So that chair is the chair my husband was sitting in when he went to be with Jesus. Still have it, still sitting in the living room, still sits as good as it did the day that I purchased it. Save those memories. Hold on to those things that are special to you. When I look around the room every single day, I have my grandmother's stuff, my great-grandmother's stuff. There's precious Mama Lucy. Y'all got to know her here as we did Heart of the Home. And as we did Heart of the Home, she taught me so much. And did we butt heads? Oh yeah, occasionally we butted heads, because she had her ideas about recipes and I had mine. And she'd want to use her recipe and I'd want to use my mama's recipe. So yeah, we had some. And there, so many people in Pickens County knew and loved my precious in-laws. And there's Homer and Vinny. They've gone to be with Jesus, and precious, precious souls. It was an honor to plan his funeral, because I dressed him in one of the nicest outfits I'd ever bought him, and put his hat in his hands, because he loved wearing his hat and dressing up to be the chief bailiff in Pickens County. So it's such a joy to be able to look back and remember the things I learned from them. And there's a day, 2 weeks ago, when the tornadoes came through town, I was reliving that right there, because in my mind I said, you know, a tornado can do anything. This was on Palm Sunday. Normally we would have been at work, and what you see that's left there is what's left of about a 200-foot building, and that's my office on the right side and my husband's in the back. And we would have been at work that day, but we had decided no more working on Sundays. We're not going to do this. We're going to take family time. Thank goodness, because we would have been in that building. He and Nicholas were in the house next door, and it kind of lifted off its foundation, sat right back down, and they were in the bathtub, laying down the bathtub when it happened. So it is tornado season, and you better get ready, because we are in Tornado Alley. And you see that sweet lady in the middle? I found some photos of David and Ansley that she took she had a little place that she did photos at the radio station in Jasper. Miss Kim went to be with Jesus way too young, way, way, way too young. She was always smiling. She was a lot of fun, and she's gone. She's gone, and nobody expected her to go, because she was way too young. And that's what's happening. You know, if you think about somebody and you haven't talked to them a while, pick up the phone and call them, because the next opportunity you get, they may not be there. And that is one of our favorite programs that we did up in Blue Ridge, and it was so much fun. So many people came out to visit, so many people came out to meet us, and everybody wanted to talk to the lawnmower girl, and they got to talk to her, and she loved people. She just loved people, and I'm so thankful that she was a part of this program for so many years. Now when we look at, this is our crew that gathered at the Yellow Jacket. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those have gone to be with Jesus. And when I think about how every Tuesday night we gathered at the Yellow Jacket, there would be 14, 15 of us around a big round table, and then it dwindled down to 11 and then 10 as people passed away. And that's the way life works, is you lose people and they're gone. But you better make time to sit down and enjoy those moments, because we don't know. This one really shocked me. When Earl Thomas Conley was there and I was interviewing him, he had a temperature of 104. He was fighting the flu. He was a trooper. He stayed and let us interview for over an hour. He developed dementia very shortly after that. He was one of the greatest songwriters in country music. He was an amazing gentleman, and very, very sad to see him. You think about the music. They say the music is the last thing that goes when you do have dementia, and that often somebody who played the piano can sit down and play. They don't know what song they're playing, but they can still sit down and play. he was one of those super musical talents, and dementia took him. So it just, you know, and here, talk about a battle with cancer. Sweet Betty Jordan battled cancer twice. And the second time, God called her home. What a sweet, sweet time at Georgia Mountain Fair. And I can't remember who was in concert that night, but it was a very special night, and a night for her to get to come out. And the next spring, she was gone. And that's what happens. Now these, you talk about some good cooks. There stand two of the best cooks that Dawson County, Pickens County, Cherokee County, Gilmer County ever saw. Those two ladies, those are my Aunt Bessie's daughters and a son, and let me tell you, those ladies could cook. I can't hold a candle to them. I cannot even touch what they did. And I'm a pretty good cook, but they were the best, and they learned from the best, because Aunt Bessie was one fantastic cook. Now this, you saw the remake of the farm, the 1835 farm. This is the farm in the late 1800s. Late 1800s. You think about this, y'all. This is it's so weird to me, because that porch, we recreated the banisters, and it was so tiny. It was a little bitty house, and then I doubled the size of it. But that's one of the oldest photos I have, and I'm so thankful I have that. And it's crazy. You know, it's crazy, because we look back and it's like 100 years ago was yesterday. And there's precious Mama Lucy, and that is a cake she taught me to make, and I've made it often. And it is super, super good, and it has crushed pineapple in it, pudding mix, and Cool Whip, and it is so good. It's so light, and if you're planning something for Mother's Day, you want to do something for your mother or your grandmother, if you're going to somebody's house and you want to take something, this is super, super simple, and it's good. And you can check it out, because it is on my YouTube. So, and there is my precious granny. Lord have mercy. I wish I could tell her thank you again and again and again. She taught my children to tell time. She taught my children to tie their shoes. She taught me to cook. She was an amazing, amazing lady who took care of my granddaddy until the moment he took his last breath. He had multiple sclerosis for over 30 years, and Granny took care of him every day. So when we see these people that say, oh, I'm not going to be there at the end to help you just because you have Parkinson's, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to walk away, I'm going to do... No, that's not what love does. Love stays until the end. And my grandmother never had any help, did it herself. Now talk about a love story. There's a love story. There's a love story for everybody. Oh my gosh, everybody knows Margie and Charlie, and everybody loved them. And oh my gosh, how I miss those two people. I miss them, I miss them, I miss them. Miss those people, and they were such precious angels. Now, what have we got next? Oh my gosh, this is today. This is the reason I wanted to honor everybody today. When I thought about Vic Davis and the fact that he stood behind where I'm sitting today, and he sang here with his brother and their band for years and years and years here at ETC. We look around, and one day so many more will be gone that have been here, but we wanted to honor him today. So, and there's his buddy, Mr. Ed, and there's his buddy, Mr. Ellijay, and they just have the best time together. That's what it's about. Don't forget the old folks. Don't forget the old folks. Spend time with them. Now, this is a place I'd love to go back to. It's down in kind of middle Georgia, and it's near where they did the movie Sweet Home Alabama. This is an old church. It's a black church. Been there, I think, since the 1800s. Absolutely beautiful building, and they're trying to raise money to save this church. And when I opened the doors and walked in, I did a little short video of it. It was just like they had had church and walked out and left it. There were still cushions sitting on the benches. There were fans laying on the benches. It was like they had just had church and walked out. But the building is in total, needs the bathrooms redone, needs the roof redone, needs a lot of stuff, but it's really a beautiful, beautiful building. There it is. Is that not gorgeous? I love that. I'm so fascinated with that, and I want to go back to it again. So if you're planning a vacation this weekend, it's going to be really nice on Saturday, 77 degrees and not bad. Go down to where they did Sweet Home Alabama. This is in Crawfordville, Georgia, and they filmed the movie there. This area has a lot of history, and just take a daycation. Take yourself a daycation and go look for some movie sets. Look for some old towns with old churches. You don't have to spend a lot of money and get out and do anything. Buy you some gas and hit the road, you know, and hit the back roads. Don't you get on that interstate. You get on the interstate, you miss a whole lot of stuff. But this is part of the set of Sweet Home Alabama, and it is a restaurant that's been in business, I think they said about 30 years. So it's one of those things, it's a hidden treasure, and it's not hidden at all. It's right there on the main road, but it's the main back roads. So get out and do a little research and go see some of these amazing places. And you know, it's so cool because we've seen the movie and we enjoyed it and we liked this, and then you find out it's not filmed in Alabama, it's Sweet Home Alabama, it's filmed in Georgia. But it's fun to go see that. Now, if you've watched the movie Murder in Coweta County, right there is where they found John Wallace guilty, and then they electrocuted him, and he was a bad boy. He was a bad boy, but there's still a road down there named after him. Been a lot of controversy about that. Now here, two of these dear people I absolutely love to death, and they have gone to be with the Lord. One died last July 31st, and it is so crazy because I think about the things I learned from them. I learned how to make flat biscuits, flat middle Georgia biscuits that are really brown and crispy, not like we make them up here. Totally different. But yeah, and good biscuits. Sop them in syrup, and oh yeah, they're good. And that gentleman took me to television around the world. He produced, he edited, he made Heart of the Home what it was. Lori started it, and then he took it to a new level, and we ended up on Angel Network around the world. And I would get tickled because he would send me the statistics of who was watching, and I would say, what are people in these foreign countries thinking about a Southern woman making grits? And he said, they must like it because they're tuning in every day. And I said, isn't that so weird to imagine people in, because he had, I think, 40 foreign countries that he kept a tally on. And he would send me the statistics, and he'd say, look who was watching today, and it was in all these countries. I can't even imagine visiting, much less, you know, talking to these people. But it was really cool. So Fred Wyndham, you were loved, and you are never to be forgotten, ever, ever, ever. Now this reminds me, this isn't at the Chief Band House, but if you have not been to Chatsworth, to the Chief Band House, get a crew together, get a group together, even take your grandkids over there and teach them the history of the Cherokee. You will find that Chief Band was not a very nice man. He actually was murdered in his 40s. His sister set the murder up because he was continually murdering people, and she had to stop him, so she did. But the Chief Band House is right here in Chatsworth. Now this is my grandmother's grave up at Cloudland Canyon, and this is, it's very strange to me. She's there in the cemetery by herself. I don't know where my grandfather was buried. I figured he was buried in a military cemetery because he was military, but I don't know why they put grandmother there by herself. But she is there, and a place that I visited several times, and hope to get to go back. And then this one is in Alabama. This lady fought a cancer battle. It was pretty tough. Pretty tough. She made a lot of cakes for a lot of people in Ball Ground, Georgia, and she will be remembered because everybody knew if you needed a cake, you picked up the phone and called Shirley Prater. So there you go. There you go. Now we've got a little video clips that we're going to share, and then we're going to go to a commercial break, and then we're going to do some more music, and we're going to share some more things, because when we look back, I was thinking about if I lost everything in my iPad, oh my gosh, what would I do? And I really do think about that cloud, because I really don't understand. Who do you call, Mr. Cloud, and say, hey, Mr. Cloud, can you send me my stuff back? I don't know how to do that. I'm not technical. That's not my thing. I can cook and I can talk, but I'm not techno. So everybody needs to get them a technical fifth grader because the fifth graders know plenty about it. So back up the stuff you've got, take videos of everybody you know and love, put it on a flash drive, hide it somewhere, and have it, because you never know. If a tornado were to come through and you lost everything you had, if you just have those memories of their voice, and I didn't know how important it was to me until last week when Trace gave me this stuff at my farm, and I sat there and watched, and I saw footage of my daughter that I didn't even remember having. And then I got to hear her, and I got to see her hands, and it was very, very emotional, but it was very healing, and it felt good. So get your phone, get your cameras, take pictures, produce a legacy for your family. Because when you're gone, then you can say, oh, Mama had this conversation with Granny, or oh, Mama had this conversation with Great Granny. That's what it's about, because when we leave here, all we take with us is what we left behind in memories. So we're going to show you a few videos and then a commercial. Hey y'all, welcome to Sanity, absolute peace. Oh my gosh, this is incredibly gorgeous. We are on a beautiful, beautiful property in Gilmer County. And I might just tell you, it's off of Tails Creek, which I have named the Audubon, and we won't tell y'all why. But it is so, this is Tails Creek, and look at this, guys. Look at this. Is that not absolutely fantastic? This beautiful property is going to be offered, and you are going to have an opportunity to bring your family, bring your friends, bring your four-wheelers, and bring your soul, and just sit here by this wonderful water. Oh my gosh, gorgeous, gorgeous.
This is Ed Forrester.
Is it plugged up?
His name appears on my Christmas album as Inspiration. That's all I'll say. And a wife, but I've been a working man dang near all my life, but I'll keep on working as long as my two hands are fit for you. I don't drink no beer in a tavern, but I see a little bit of these working man blues. Here comes Tracy.
As if you didn't take the run,
Right.
but maybe that's the way it's supposed to be.
It
I don't
is.
know.
It's the way it works out in the
Okay.
end.
Okay.
Yeah, get started quicker.
Okay.
Okay, let's run through it. We could, you and I. Say it. Right here. A true love is about a girl and boy. We could.
Whole thing? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
We could, you and I.
If anyone could ever say their true love was here to stay, we could when you're in my arms, I know you're happy to be there. And just as long as I'm with you, I'm happy anywhere.
Sorry. If anyone could ever say true love is here to stay, we could, you and I. Here we go now. Da, da, da.
What we're supposed to be doing. And just as long as I'm with you, I'm happy anywhere. If anyone could pray each night to thank the Lord that all is right, we could, you and I. All of million things I've said and done, but when I separate them, darling, you're my memory number one. I've had lots of other sweethearts, and I admit I've had some fun. But when I stop and think of true love, you're my memory number one. Even fools sometimes get lonesome, and I guess that's what this fool has gone and done. Tonight I'm thinking of old memories.
And when we get a steel in there on top of that, and some guitar, and some harmony, you'll be good.
I
And-
heard
and
a
now
lot of
listen.
waving in my voice,
Well,
but
that's
it
not-
probably ain't no
we're
get
not-
no better.
We're not mixed. I'm gonna work on all that. Sing another.
Hey y'all, we are just outside Crawfordville, Georgia, and we came to see things that had to do with the movie Sweet Home Alabama, and happened on this amazing church built founded in 1886. Absolutely incredible. And I'm gonna gently open the door and take a view. Wow. Wow, y'all, look at this. Look at this. Oh my goodness gracious sakes alive. Like walking back in history. This is amazing. Amazing. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Wow. Obviously it's been a while since church was held here because the restrooms aren't working or the ceiling is falling in, but wow, you talk about a piece of Americana. This is American history. Goodness gracious, I'm so...
Hello folks, Dwight Sanford here. I'm here with my friend Ed Forster. We're on the Sherry Show on ETC Television. It's locally owned and it's neighbors helping neighbors. Ain't it good to be back home again? There's a storm afternoon lies heavy on my shoulder. There's a truck out on the 4-lane, a mile or more away. The whining of his wheels just makes it colder.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time, and delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
Welcome to our ETC Game of the Week. From McDaniel. That one is poked out in the eye. Oh,
that one hits him in the head.
From Chris. That one.
3-2. Good lick.
See us anytime you can.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Spring is in the air, and so is the pollen. And the pollen is to remind you there's going to be a huge plant sale this Saturday beginning at 9 a.m. the corner of Old Dawsonville Road and Roy Haynes Drive. This is the Two Little Hands Farm. It's the little girls whose parents are teaching them to grow what they eat, to learn about the egg, and the production of how an egg turns into a chicken and how a hog turns into bacon. But this weekend, you can show up. They're going to have so many plants. They're going to have hanging baskets, plants, tomatoes and snapdragons and all kinds of things that you could plant in your garden. And it's going to be, this guy has the greenest thumb I've ever seen in my life. I watch his yard every day because as I pull out, I'm like, what is he doing now? They have blueberries. This man has the green touch. He's got like the Midas touch with his hands. It's amazing. So remember, this Saturday, the 29th, at the Two Little Hands Farm. It's right on the corner of Old Dawsonville Road and Roy Haynes. You will recognize that corner because they're putting in sidewalks, and it's a mess. It's a mess, but you can get to the greenhouse and everything will be okay. I don't think they're going to be working on Saturday. but they're going to have hanging baskets. It'd be a great time to go ahead and get your Mother's Day hanging baskets. It would be a great time to put out some early gardening, but my granny would say it's a little too early to put your garden out, girlie, because it snowed on her corn in May one time. So listen to the old folks. Now, sitting there watching today, and the time and the energy that went into getting the DVD and the CD for Vic to give his kids, he wrote songs about his wife. And we think about this. She's been gone a few years and he's been left alone. That happens a lot with older couples, and one of them is left here. But he hasn't lost his memories, and he put his memories into a CD that Dwight produced for his family. And I think that's the coolest thing, and that's why I wanted y'all to see this footage. We spent hours and hours and hours in the studio over and over and over, doing the same thing over and over to get it right. This is it's a legacy. It's his legacy, and so his children have this now, and it was so cool. So if you think, well, you know, I don't have time to go visit that old lady, or I don't have time to go visit that old guy in the nursing home, take the time. Take the time. Go and spend some time with somebody that's been a part of your life. Whether it was a teacher who taught you something, whether it was a band director that gave you first chair trumpet when you probably weren't as good as the other kid, but they wanted to see you get a break. I mean, we look at our life and we look back, and there's so many people who touched our lives. Now, when you saw the video of the people dancing, Dawn and Uncle John and Nancy, his sister, dancing, Nancy's husband had a horrific accident many, many years ago. His name was Richard Jackson. He was an amazing songwriter. He was a great musician. He could have made it well in Nashville, but it wasn't his time. But he wrote a song called Memories of Loving You, and I'm going to find it. I've got it at home somewhere, and I'm going to get Trace to save it, and we're going to do this song for you one day. This was written by a guy for South County, Cumming, Georgia. You know, no big star, no big nothing, but that song touched so many lives, and it was written in probably the 60s, and he didn't do a big CD. He didn't do that, but I happened to be lucky enough to have a copy of it because Nancy gave me a copy of it. If you can sing, if you've written a song, record it on your iPhone and make sure your family has that, because not everybody has Mr. Ellijay to take you into the studio and actually produce a CD for you. But we spent hours and hours to make that happen, and all I had to do was sit there and record it and save it for them so they would have a little piece of history, and you've seen a little piece of history now. Now, there's also going to be another plant sale, and this is the first Saturday before Mother's Day. It's Saturday right before Mother's Day, and it is at the Botanical Garden in downtown Ball Ground. There'll be all kinds of activities, vendors and food, and just a fun day. Raffle baskets that you can buy chances on. It's going to be a good day. But before that, April the 5th, you better get to downtown Ball Ground, because it's going to be food and fun and music all right downtown. All you have to do is parking. You can spend the whole day walking around town. You can be eating, you can be resting, you can be listening to music. Going to be something going on all day long. Go there hungry, because there's a lady who comes, I don't know if she's from Michigan or somewhere up north. She does bacon on a stick. Holy cow. Oh my gosh, it is so good, and I want y'all to try it. Also, NASCAR is one of those things. I had an obsession with NASCAR when Dale Earnhardt was alive. I absolutely did not miss a NASCAR race. Loved his racing. The legends are leaving us. The legends are gone, but we're lucky enough to have a little blippet of us visiting with Bobby and Donnie Allison, the Allison brothers, part of the Alabama gang in racing. Now, for you race car drivers and you guys who used to do these dirt tracks up at Sugar Creek, you know the Allison boys. We were lucky enough to spend some time with them. This was before they passed on. And did I know, how old they were? I didn't even ask, but I enjoyed every single minute of talking to them and visiting with them. So we're going to take you now. Plan a trip. You can go over to Dawson County to the Thunder Road Museum. You can visit racing history. That's what you ought to do. If you enjoyed something, don't just sit at home and say, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. take a daycation. So I hope this is encouraging, and you will take a daycation to a NASCAR event.
1, 2, 3, 4. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way. And our way is on the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again.
What sweet, sweet memories to each and everybody who has ever walked through the path with me, to each and everybody who has ever been a part of what we've done here at ETC. We're celebrating 20 years. And when you think about those 20 years and I look back, it really is like it was yesterday. I can remember when Bill Senyard's Aunt Arlene came to play the piano for us, and the piano was sitting over there, Bill and I were sitting over there. That lady sat down at the piano and I went, oh my gosh. She was like, it was like we had Liberace here. She was so amazing. And within 2 years of that time, she developed dementia. And as she developed dementia, she couldn't remember the song. She'd be playing a song, and then she would change in the middle of a song to another song. But she had that music. She still remembered the music. So if you have a parent who's beginning to slip and you're thinking, oh my gosh, they won't remember me, sit down with your parent, record your parent, have conversations with your parent, because there were still times that Arlene was completely on, she knew what was going on, and then there were times that she absolutely did not. That's what you need to do. Capture every single moment and record it, put it on a flash drive, make a DVD. I don't know, they're going to quit making DVD players one day, and then I'm going to be in trouble because I've got about 2,500 DVDs. But keep those memories alive, because when they're gone, to hear their voice, to see their smile, to hear that piano, to hear the music. When we had Marie Scott here right before she was diagnosed with dementia, she sat right over here on this piano and she played, and a group of her friends that she had worked with were here. And it was just a happy, happy day. Nobody had a clue that she was about to slip into that world of the unknown. But we have those memories, and that's what it's about. Life is about creating memories, but it is also about protecting those memories. And like what we've done with Vic Davis, what a treasure. What a treasure. The hours, the time, the moments, the laughter, the silliness, the no, that's not right, do it over again, try it again, try it again. It was just amazing to see these two old gentlemen who have worked together to create magic for the family. And If you look up to somebody, if there's somebody you really admire and you haven't told them about it, go tell them about it and say, hey, I appreciate the things you did for me. I appreciate, as I was a kid, you spoke to me in church and you encouraged me. Do that. Do that. You know, I wish I had told Roger Futch more. He knew how much I appreciated him. He brought me here. And the day he died was a very tough day for me to think about. That part of life is gone. He was a visionary. He wanted things to be different. He wanted to encourage people to come to his city, Ellijay. And it was about sharing what we just look as a normal life. We just look as normal life, working on a car, singing a song. But now we can, through YouTube and through television, we can share it with everybody. And that's what it should be about. You know, if you're good at something, do you a YouTube video and slap it out there and let people know, hey, this is how you make biscuits. This is how you make peach cobbler. Share, because when you're gone, that's what they'll have. That's what they'll have. We are loading lots of the old programs to YouTube, so if you have a family member who was on the program with us over the years, Trace is slapping them out there, putting them out there, putting them out there, putting them out there. So if you think of somebody, and if you'll shoot me just a note telling me, Sherry, I think it was in 2008, I think it was in 2006. If you can just give me a year, possibly we can find it, but we're adding them as we have time. But you can go to YouTube and you will be amazed at how many of you are out there, or your parents who were here with me, and those precious memories are there forever. So it's been a joy to do that. And again, today, make today the day that you make a difference in somebody's life who maybe is left alone, maybe doesn't have anybody to enjoy a meal with, maybe just needs to go take a ride and doesn't drive anymore. Get out and do that today. You can make a difference, and I think we should. I'll see you again soon on ETC and on YouTube, and you can go back and just check out all the programs. Bye, y'all.